How much in trouble am I?
Don't worry, you're not in trouble at all.
I can't get what bribe means.
Bribe means, lancha they say in Kannada.
नहीं तो नो पार्किंग को केस डालना ऐसा वैसा सब करते हैं बहुत तकलीफ देते हैं पुलिस वाले भी हमना
Hey there, my fellow Indians. Welcome to NewsHamster. Today we are in one of the most posh localities of Bengaluru city, the Church Street. Today we are going to talk to youngsters in Church Street whether if they have paid a bribe or not. This is in the backdrop of how in Bengaluru towing has been halted for a brief period of time owing to wrong practices and unfair practices. Let's find out. So what's your name?
I'm Arun.
So how long have you been in the Bengaluru city?
About 10 years now.
So have you ever paid a bribe in a span of 10 years?
Yes.
Why exactly did you pay the bribe, if I may ask?
To be honest, it's for a. I generally don't like to, but it's for a illegal U-turn.
So as a civilian, what do you think should be done so that you don't get in, such a situation where you don't have to pay a bribe?
See, it's usually an infrastructure issue. Like, for example, I took the U-turn because Google Maps told me to take the U-turn. But if that was updated, I wouldn't have to. Or if the fines were more reasonable, I don't mind paying the fine also. But usually the fines are increasing. Like, as a car owner, I have to pay like double or triple fine like compared to last 2-3 years. So that's the issue.
So partly we have Google Maps to blame. Hi sir, what's your name?
Manish,
So how long have you been in the Bengaluru city?
almost 18 to 20 years.
So in this 18 to 20 years, have you ever paid a bribe?
Once or twice.
Once or twice. So what exactly has it been for?
I don't want to tell the situation.
So do
We all
you...
know the common situation, right? So I don't want to tell the situation again.
All right, that's quite diplomatic. So, what do you feel that the citizens should do, the civilians should do to avoid these situations?
First of all, even after paying bribe, it is not. I don't feel comfortable to give advice. Actually, we should also follow. First of all, before paying bribe, right? So I would advise that why to pay bribe rather than follow the rules that is set forth. It will be comfortable for everyone. Also, you also need not waste money, right?
Hi sir, what's your name?
My name is Jairam.
Okay, so how long have you been here in the Bengaluru city?
I was born and bred here, grew up here.
So in this span of period, have you ever paid a bribe?
I don't remember, but I can't be sure also. Sometimes, when cops catches you, you have to do that one. There is no other go. So 1 or 2 times it has happened.
All right, so you say it has happened. So, what do you think is the thing that civilians should do to avoid to be in such a position? Like, what should be the strategy of the civilians?
You see, it is a very difficult question to answer. You see. So sometimes, the situations, arise where you have to do that one. For example, let us say your gas gets emptied. You don't have any other one. Okay? Somehow, you have forgotten to have a spare one. Now, at that time, you will go to the gas agency. He doesn't give you. Then, if you're forced to, you have to accept it.
Right.
It's difficult. Certain situations are there where you cannot avoid.
Right.
You can't say, nobody can say, I've never paid, the bribe, nor am I going to pay bribe. That's not possible. Practical.
You're right.
Yeah. Suddenly something happens at home, okay, you need cash, then you have to, some essentials, it is avoidable.
Yeah.
Sometimes, it's unavoidable.
Hi sir, what's your name?
My name is Nagarajan.
So how long have you been here in the Bengaluru city?
Almost 1.5 years ago.
So in this 1.5 years, have you paid any bribe?
Bribe means I can't get what bribe means.
Bribe means, lancha they say in Kannada. No. The money that you pay to cops. Yeah, corruption. Yeah, lancha. Okay.
No, we don't pay any lanjams because we are searching the job. That's why we don't enter that types of entry areas. So we don't pay any lanjams in this area. Maybe I looking this here we don't need to pay like this. We don't have entry into the government offices like that. No? That's why we don't know what about here situations. Yeah.
So ಎಷ್ಟು ದಿವಸ ಇಂದ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ ನೀವು?
4 ವರ್ಷ.
ಸೊ ಈ 4 ವರ್ಷದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವತ್ತಾದ್ರೂ ನೀವು ಲಂಚ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಪೊಲೀಸ್ ಅವರಿಗೆ, ಯಾರಿಗೂ ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಫಿಷಿಯಲ್ಸ್ಗೆ ನೀವು ಲಂಚ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀರಾ?
ಇಲ್ಲ.
ಯಾವತ್ತೂ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿಲ್ವಾ? ಓಕೆ. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ಸ್ ಯೋರ್ ನೇಮ್?
Samir,
Samir, so how long have you been in Bangalore?
10 years.
10 years. So in the span of 10 years, have you ever paid a bribe?
Yes, once I was coming back from electronics to my home.
Okay.
So the policeman, he has snatched my mobile. And to return the mobile, I had to pay him 1,000 rupees.
Okay.
Yeah, or else he asked me to go visit police station. Yeah.
So what do you think people can do to avoid being in such situations?
Maybe people should be aware of the rules and regulations that we shouldn't supposed to give our mobiles to them, because I think it's not allowed.
Hi sir, what's your name?
Anirban Chakrabarti,
Anirban, so how long have you been in Bengaluru?
almost 6 years now.
So have you paid a bribe in a span of 6 years that you're here?
I don't recall paying a bribe in Bangalore, but I have paid bribes before.
Where exactly?
So this was to the police, right? So I, in order to get my passport quicker than otherwise, so I had to pay to the police guy who actually came for my address verification.
This is quite an interesting story. Well, what do you think that civilians should do to avoid being in this position?
See, the thing is, whether we drive this change bottom up, right? All civilians, they become aware and they try to kick out this social practice. I don't think it's going to happen, because bribe, the practice of bribing, right? It doesn't exist in isolation, right? Bribing is a part of a much bigger superstructure of, and everything is, historical, right? We as a country, where we are placed historically and geographically, I think it's just so ingrained in our I won't say DNA, but in our way of living. I don't think if people like you and me, if we make a choice of okay, we'll not bribe, we'll fall out of the system, right? And every time we cannot afford it, right? Because I mean, at least if we talk about the middle class, lower classes, you have to pay your way up, right? A lot of places there is a lot of bureaucracy in India, and the only way to get things done quickly is bribing, and that seems to be the correct solution given the limited time. So to be honest, I'm a little pessimistic about us collectively, shunning this as a practice.
Hi ma'am, what's your name?
Avni.
So how long have you been here in Bengaluru city?
I've lived here my whole life.
All right, so in this span of time, have you ever paid a bribe?
Yes, yes.
Can we know the instance in which you have done that?
Well, I got like cops, like you smoke in public areas, but they still come and catch you. So that
Okay. So how much money did you have to pay to avoid that?
250.
So what do you think is a solution for this? I mean, how do civilians avoid being in this particular position?
I mean, that's a very tricky question, right? Because it comes down to law enforcement in the end. It's an unavoidable thing. It has to do with more like awareness as like a person rather than law enforcement. It's not like a law you could do. It's more drives, it's more awareness. So I think something like, workshops, how you get sex ed, should also get something like, in general consumer awareness of your rights in school.
Hi sir, क्या तुम्हारा नाम?
मेरा नाम आपको अलीम खान है।
तुम्हें लंचा देती हैं क्या? पुलिस वाले आपसे लंचा लेती हैं? कोई और आपसे लंचा लेती?
हाँ, पर डॉक्यूमेंट नहीं, क्या तो भी इंश्योरेंस नहीं है, हमें क्या तो बोलना होगा, तो क्या तकलीफ में रहे तो क्या 100 दियो 200 दियो को पुलिस वाले पूछती हैं, हमें देती हैं, नहीं दिया तो नहीं छोड़ते, केस डालती हैं, गाड़ी सीज करती हैं, को बोलती हैं क्या ये कहीं को नो अब देखो कस्टमर यहाँ उतरा फोटो मार लेती हैं, नहीं को तो उनको फोटो डिलीट करना होगा तो 100 रुपये देना उनको। अच्छा। नहीं दिया तो फोटो डिलीट नहीं करते। आपका पैसेंजर उतरता, नो पार्किंग में भी उतरता, कहाँ भी उतरता। अब हमने ऑनलाइन बुकिंग होचे, यहाँ नो पार्किंग की जगह खड़ा लेती हैं 1-2 लहजे, क्या कस्टमर आ रहा तो भी सुनते नहीं, क्या फोटो मार लग जाती हैं गाड़ी की, नो पार्किंग को 1000 रुपीज़ डालती हैं केस से।
तो कितने साल से आप ऑटो चला रही हैं बैंगलोर में?
बैंगलोर में मैं चला रहा हूँ 8 साल से ऑटो चला रहा हूँ।
कौन से एरिया में है आपका घर?
मैं ज़्यादा MG रोड, कोरमंगला, इंदिरा नगर, व्हाइट फील्ड, मारतली, ये तरह सब जगह जाते रहता हूँ। बनशंकरी मेरा घर को, क्या बहुत तकलीफ है ऑटो चलाने में।
तो अब ऑटो वाले गलतियां करती ना, इसे कैसा अवॉइड करना? ये पुलिस ब्राइब देना कैसा अवॉइड करना? लंचा देना कैसा अवॉइड करना?
पुलिस वाले देखो, अब नो पैसेंजर आता, हम ना पैसेंजर एक लादा खड़ो का था, अब पैसेंजर एक महल कुछ गया नहीं, एक पानी का बोतल लेने गया, कहीं को तब एक लहदा खड़ा रिंग को बोला को हम पैसेंजर जा सकता, क्या पैसेंजर आए दिन तक पुलिस वाला आता, हम ना एक फोटो मार लेता नो पार्किंग के वास्ते, गाड़ी उठाने कराता। अब पैसेंजर कहीं को बैठता, क्या एक जगह खड़ा सकता आदमी, पानी पी सकता, अगर कुछ ना खड़ा सकती हैं हमें भी। पैसेंजर देता, पुलिस वाले देता आपको फोटो मार ले को, नहीं तो क्या चले आना, नहीं तो नो पार्किंग को केस डालना, ऐसा वैसा सब करती हैं, बहुत तकलीफ देती हैं पुलिस वाले भी हम ना।